maturity and the success in the data analytics revolution. I'd like to spend the first 10 to 15 minutes to walk you through my collection of thoughts. Then we may do some live Q&As at the end. Just a quick proclaim. What I'm sharing today is purely from my personal observations and working experience, only for good intention, and take it as it resonates. So just a bit about me. So I've been working in data and analytics area over 20 plus years. So seeing the revolution of how the data and the analytics unleashing their power from being a luxury to essential in organizational daily practice. I have played different roles, starting as a data warehouse software engineer, and then application DBA, big data developer, and data engineer, analytics architect, and data scientist. My most recent focus is in data analytics product management. What I benefit direct from this horizontal journey is it enables me to advance the data and analytics in the interconnected and progressive way by leveraging the unique set of tools and the disposition the product management efforts. So being into the Data Science Connect conference for the past 2 hours also, you may have heard a great deal of successful stories. So I'll throw a curveball here to mention something we don't often talk about. As you may see, there's a high stat that a lot of analytics work didn't get to the finish line, and not yet to mention the longevity. So some contribution factors could be companies lacking leadership support, effective communication among teams, accessible data. Machine learning models come with their own set of challenges, and scaling up is harder than you think along the continuity and sustainability. So let's first start, go to this. All right, so let's first start recognizing the personas in a common data and analytics play. So I'm generalizing the names a bit here. I know different companies, organizations may have a slightly different title, so forth. So some reasons here having a the S on the team, right? There's really multiple teams identified as, for one, it's reflecting the vertical operational reporting hierarchy, right, from an HR standpoint, and living and breathing at a different altitude, right, for each of the personas. And also the domain expert and expertise and skill sets could be very different. And then individual team goals, right? And then the guideline, practice, standard, support structure, as well as the budget, planning, roadmap. And they can all be very different from each other. And then cultural, right? Cultural plays a pretty big role here as well. And then the demographic, surprising, a surprise. So if we have, so for instance, we have offshore team, which may bring in different work hours blended with the physical location constraints, and then a lot of other things to consider, and then to blend as well. Right. So to be more specific, now I started a checklist of some common pinpoints here. So for instance, from a maturity aspect, data science team are not all born equal, right? We have to admit that some may still be in the experimental mode. Also, it is not uncommon that the data scientists have may not have all the necessary business acumen built up as they assigned to the work. So another example here, the BI resource, that they may not have the complete knowledge of the what the analytics team have built, the data the data assets the data science team built. Therefore, it may come to a challenge to interpret and design the presentation layer accurately, and then support and answer the frontline questions from users independently. And not to forget, the data sets are constantly evolving as well from the data science team. And then from the leadership who are not day in and day out with the teams, it is easy to lose traction on the progress and what to support, right? They may get lost. What to support to drive the ROIs. And then the data engineering team here not only need to consider their own, their own ecosystem, but also how to really enable and integrate with the data science teamwork. That could be a forever subject. So with our direct business partner, there's a great layer of knowing, but not really dilemma sometimes, right? Due to the lack of the width and depth technical understanding, and then the complexity behind the work. Next slide. So what is the North Star we are all going after? So for one, the data and then data management. Data are the foundation of analytics. Successful analysis requires consistent and structured data. The more analyses and data science team need to clean and then recode data to make it usable for even simple analysis, the less efficient the analytics team will be and the longer it will take to develop its skills and the capacities. Therefore, all great analytics teams are enabled by strong data standards, engineering, and management. And then the greatest differentiator of the analytics maturity is the level of dedicated data engineering resources available to it for properly data creation and quality control. Having a product-centric engagement model enables strategic alignment. Data engineers who are steeped into the strategic context of the data science team are able to design the data foundation and analytics solutions more thoughtfully and deliberately from the beginning. And then also, commonly leading teams, right, they have invested heavily in the strong core data foundation, but also have advanced ways of going beyond the core system to use additional internal and external sources of data. Well, it is common for data science teams to feel constrained by lack of easily available or impactful data. Data engineering teams may shine here by being more creative with data, acquiring new sources, or combining existing ones in new ways to attack the problem at hand. So the analytics capabilities, so data science and the analytics projects can require both deep technical knowledge and the ability to integrate and translate across a wide array of expertise and input. The best teams are building their talent bench with breadth and depth. So not only specialize in specific disciplines of data science, but Netherlands expect each member to operate in a nimble, cross-functional way in order to meet evolving needs. Right? So data science team are expected to also translate strategic challenges into analytic questions, and they use evidence-based practice to interpret insights derived from the analytics, engage stakeholders, and ultimately propel business changes. So as we're talking about the operational models, right, in the fast developing field, the teams need to deliver impact across the organizations and stay ahead of the curve to maintain that impact into the future. The best teams align themselves well against organizational priorities while maintaining space for open experimentation and innovation. So with that all said, right, you already talked, I actually covered a lot of the opportunity where the the product management may come to contribute and participate. Right. So first and foremost, right, clear alignment with our business stakeholders, organizations, organizational use cases, right? So product managers may take different approaches to organizing ourselves and then aligning with different business groups. what is consistent, however, is the presence of a mechanism for attaining in-depth understanding of enterprise-wide priorities as well as the specific needs of individual business group or users. So this mechanism creates feedback loops that enable continuous learning and iterative development, and it ensures the product team are working on the most pressing and high impact topics. So as far as the working with the data analysis team, right, a culture of trust, empowerment, and ownership is the critical foundation, right, to ensure that our data analytics work is aligned with our business users as well as the enterprise. So we routinely deal with urgent and often ambiguous business needs and questions, highly sensitive data and the challenges to some meaningful and actionable insights, and that guides the business decisions. So the work traditionally is mostly done taken care of by the data science team, but definitely the data analysis team or the data analyst could also play a key role here to share the work, and then by taking advantage, working on the same product, and then the familiarity of the analytics work. So the data analysis team may also support some post-model data monitoring on the source data and the variable trends over the time, just to better support the model refinement and the validation. So as far as the data engineering team, right, to provide direction on the priority to the data engineering team from a product standpoint, right, so that all the frameworks, the practice, right, the SLAs are aligned across different teams, and then so we deliver one unified product and then customer experience. And then the other piece is maximize the value from the data engineering team on new opportunities such as data enrichment, right, the bring new data in, and the data quality, product support, and then take advantage of cutting edge data engineering techniques or tools or platforms. And then also build the analytics framework, right? That's really part of the data engineering team could really be helpful, as well as the integration layer with external products and systems for readily accessible data, and then as well as ensure the one version of the truth, right, of the data and the analytics assets. And then from a data science aspect, right, product manager here can often serve as an entry point to the data scientist team, helping to raise awareness of the team in the organization and build the team's credibility. So being an internal consultant to partner directly with individual business users groups on their specific problem, that's definitely part of the real responsibility as a product manager. And then leverage Spike for research and innovation. So innovation, really, it's a norm in the data science world, right? So data science team explicitly expect to explore and innovate beyond their day-to-day fulfillment of the needs of our business. So we have rule of thumb for the percentage of time for each sprint that the team spent on exploration as opposite to opposite concept, right? The goal is to ensure that all team members are consistently forming new ideas and looking for new ways to meet the analytic needs of the organization and therefore help it achieve its objectives. And then reinforcement, upgrade the best practice and data science framework. So oftentimes, data science team just so busy doing research or has done solving a particular improvement or refinement, and then but really just as a product manager, definitely they can come in to reinforce the what is the best practice, right? Do we have a good model validation process and framework in place, and then how do we manage, right? How do we manage the analytics product, right? Just overall, right? And how do we monitor and continuously refine as everything, as we are working with moving targets most of the time, and then it's a very dynamic world. And then as far as the business intelligence, CX, or customer experience or user experience teams, right? They are often another really the front layer besides on the side of the BI, right? The BI team could be building the dashboard versus the UX CX team will be building out that more interactive, robust web solution, like web interface, web solution. So, but overall, it's really how we may engage the business partner in the design, and then also getting the BI or UX CX team have a fully embracing of our product, right? Analytic product, understanding the data, understanding the requirements, and drive out the wireframe design, and then also really continuously improve the sort of the user experience, right? Because they are the front line. The front face of our product, and then so have a good understanding of the really the core, right? The sort of the inside, how things work, really going to be very helpful to help with the accuracy, the performance, and stability. And then not last but not least, our business partners, right? Definitely want to engage them in a 360 degree, right? In a sense that it's optimal to really include them in all the meetings, including the technical design, test, review meetings, and then maximize the communications, and then working with the business partner direct on develop the OKRs, and then having those recurring meetings for the readouts, right? For instance, the model accuracy readouts, or can keep track and monitoring where we are with the OKRs as far as what is the target for the quarter or for the month versus where we are actually, right? The actual accuracy or actual model performance, and then and also, they can also be a great partner to really help us to socialize our products across the companies, and then being a great knowledge, really like domain expert on for us to get us understanding in the business, really what's the day-to-day business operations, what we need to know so that our product can be sensitive and be proactive to the changes. And then, last but not least, the leadership, right? As I mentioned earlier, the OKRs, how do we provide that transparency, and then, just make the leadership feel comfortable, and then knowing where we are and how they can support. And then they sometimes actually play a very, very critical and a very impactful role in our just overall product success, and then they can get things, make mission possible, right? A lot of times, and then especially if it's at an enterprise level request or scope of work. So that's really, again, the other piece is the priority and the urgency. We often talk about the priorities, right? It should be from top down. Really, the best ideal world, right? It's the priorities changing, right? But we definitely want to hear often from our leadership, working closely with them, understanding what is the hot burn issues at the moment, what are the strategic directions, and so that we can be always aligned. And then, so that's really for the priorities here. I like to, I know we're a little past the hour already, but I'd like to see if, if you have time for any QAs, or, if not, I can try to share the deck.